Welcome to WorksheetCloud Grade 9 English. I am Mrs. Notier and I will be your English teacher for today. We are going to be tackling a bit of language work, and if throughout the lesson or after the lesson you realize that you're a bit unsure about a concept or anything that was discussed, please do contact grade 9 at worksheetcloud.com. You'll see the email address here on the screen, and there you can email any of the queries you have, or you can ask for additional information and you'll be sent back with any relevant answers or any relevant details that you still require. Okay, so now that that's out there and you know exactly what you need to do if you're unsure, let's get started. So the cartoon in front of you is a bit of a hint as to what we're doing today. So you can see it's a teacher and she asks her students, can anyone give me an example of a suffix? And the one boy says .com. Now, .com is how you normally end most email addresses or websites. And I guess it's become so much a part of our lives, and especially of young children's lives, that some might think that that is a suffix. But, and again, if it doesn't already highlight you what we're doing today, it will be prefixes and suffixes. So a prefix is a group of letters that you add to the beginning of a word to often change its meaning to the opposite or just meaning something slightly different. A suffix is a group of letters you add to the end of a word, and this normally changes the part of speech, right? So just remember, prefix, pre means before, so even the word prefix has a prefix. So pre means before, and then suffix, we're talking about after. Okay, so we'll delve into a whole lot of examples in this lesson. You will require pen and paper because you'll have to be jotting down ideas as well as some definitions and examples of certain prefixes and suffixes as we go along. So if you didn't have pen and paper with you, please pause now, go grab what you need, and then you can just press play and we'll continue. Okay, so to begin, we're going to look at a video which just lays out the basics of prefixes and fixes are and what they do. Once you've seen the video, we'll move straight on.
Hello, my name's Amelia. In this video, we will look at how to take words you already know and make them into new words. All you have to do is add a few letters before the word. These are called prefixes. Or add a few letters after a word. These are known as suffixes. Here's an example. Place, replace, replacement. Be careful. You can't do this with all vocabulary, but you can have fun experimenting to see which ones work and which ones don't. Let's look at prefixes first. We all know the word do. Did you know that you can redo something? And if you're not happy with it, you can undo it too. What does the prefix re mean here? That's right. Re means again. So if you redo something, you do it again. And what about un in undo? Un is an opposite. So if you undo something, you reverse what you have done. Here's another prefix. What does it mean? Disagree, dislike, disallow, disappear. Dis also means not or reversal. Now let's look at some suffixes. Happy is an adjective. How can we make it into a noun? Simple. Just add the suffix ness. Happy plus ness equals happiness. Here are two more adjectives to express feelings, sad and tired. To make the noun, you just add the same suffix. Have a look. Sad plus ness equals sadness. Tired plus ness equals tiredness. There are a few more prefixes and suffixes that go with a range of words. Learning which ones to use and with which words may seem hard at first, but with time, you'll learn to hear what sounds right. Prefixes and suffixes are everywhere. Next time you're reading or listening to English, start noticing which beginnings and endings are being used. Make a note of them, and more importantly, use them. It's the only way to remember them. We hope you found this video helpful, and we look forward to your return. Thanks for watching.
Okay, so that was just a very brief and quite a good example, rather, of just how you can use prefixes and suffixes. Now, there's not much to learn around prefixes and suffixes in the case of actual rules. So the grammar rules here, literally, it is just you're adding letters before a word or you're adding letters after a word. So there aren't rules that you have to know, but there's a lot of definitions. You need to know what the different prefixes mean, and you need to know what the different suffixes change the part of speech to. So that's where you'd be tested. Identification, which is always the easy part, but then actually having to define or to state the parts of speech. Now, what we call the core word is the root word. So the root word is the basic form of it. Then the prefix would be the letters before. So if you unfriend someone, remember it means opposite, so you're taking them out of your life. However, if you want to now make unfriend an adjective, or even an adjective in this case, you'd say Right, so you need to know what the prefix means so that you then understand what the word would mean. And you need to know what part of speech you'd be changing it into with your suffix. Right, so that's how you'd be tested in an exam scenario. So let's have a look. I'd like you, once I'm finished explaining, to press pause and see if you can work out, even if you're just guessing, what these prefixes mean. All right, so you're just writing it down, the list from top to bottom, and then we'll go through it together. Okay, so let's have a look at what the different meanings are, and these are ones that you would have to study and remember. So anti, spelled with the I, remember that because anti with an E, that actually means before. So anti with an I means against. So we'll look at an example just now, but an anticlimax. So you're reading this amazing story and you have all these expectations for this exciting ending, and then it's an anticlimax. It goes against an exciting ending. Auto would mean by yourself. So an autobiography, it's a story about the person, about you. Bi means two, so bicycle has two wheels. I don't see tri on this list, but then think tri would mean three wheels. The prefix X can have two meanings. Either it can mean former, your ex-friend, or it can mean out of. Okay, so extrinsic, or we'll look at those just now, but it has two meanings. Micro means very small. So if you're looking at a microcosm of the ocean, it would maybe be like a little small fish tank which you're looking at. So it's small. Miss means badly or wrongly. So if you misspell something, you're doing it incorrectly. It's the incorrect spelling. Mono means one or single, right? So if I had to say to someone that they speak very monotone, it means they speak like this, the same. There's just one tone of voice, right? So that's what mono means. Multi then means many. So South Africa is a multicultural society. We have so many cultures, many different languages, so multi would apply. Over normally means too much. So if you overstimulate a dog, it might get very excited or very tired. Post means after. I'm sure you've always seen PS at the end of letters or texts or emails. It means postscript, so it's something you remembered after you've written. Pro means you're in favor of it. Pseudo, okay, it's a bit of a weird spelling, it's a silent P, but pseudo means false. So if I use a pseudonym, it means a false name by which I go. Re, as you saw from the video, it can either mean against or to go back. Semi means half, so a semicircle would be half a circle. Sub means under, and then even under can be used as well as a prefix to mean not enough. Right, so those are great examples for you, and you need to know the actual meanings, not just what the actual word means, but the prefix as well. Let's look at examples. So I'm going to just work with this last section here. So if you're antisocial, it means that you are against being social, so you like to maybe be alone. Autograph, it means the person signs their own. It's your own or oneself signature. Biannual would mean that it happens twice yearly. An ex-student, so if I have to go and see one of my students who I taught in matric and now they're in university, they're one of my ex-students, my former students. Extract, so this is where it means take out of or to come out of. If I extract the water or the liquid from the soil, then I am taking the water out. A microcomputer, this could more be like a chip, microcomputer chip, so it's something very small, so maybe a little chip, but it functions the same. Misinform, and that comes a lot with fake news. If you misinform someone, you're giving them the incorrect information. Monogamous, so this means one. Monogamous means, for instance, if you're in a relationship, you have one girlfriend, one boyfriend, right? So it's also to stay loyal. Multicultural, I've now used with South Africa having many cultures. Oversleep, so it is possible you can sleep too much. Often if you actually oversleep, you're drowsier the next day. So try and maintain a good balance of 8 hours and then exercise and being healthy, just so you're not sleeping so much that you're actually just sort of dulling your systems and your ways of thinking. Post-government, so after the government. Pro-government, so that means that you're very positive about the government. Pseudo-intellectual, so this is someone who is falsely coming across as this intellectual or this expert, but they actually maybe don't have any qualifications to back up what they're saying. To rewind, so to go back. Semi-detached, so if you live in a complex, a lot of the houses or the townhouses are semi-detached. A part of it will be completely alone, unattached, but you might share, let's say, a wall with your neighbor. Submarine, obviously that would mean under the sea or under the water level rather. And then underused, like I said, not enough, so you're not using it enough. Okay, so if you know what the prefix means, very likely you're going to work out what the word means. So prefix also ties in with vocabulary. But like I said, you have to know the definition of the prefix alone that is added onto the root word. Okay, let's have a look now at suffixes. Now remember, prefix goes before the root word, suffix goes after. And what suffixes do is that they change parts of speech, right? So here you can see that there are quite a few. The suffix, it's not actually age, it's age, but like here, postage or hostage, you don't say age. But what that normally does is it changes it to form a noun. AL or IAL usually forms adjectives. Ants or ents usually forms abstract nouns. Reliance, innocence. Remember when we did abstract nouns a couple of weeks back, we said it's something you can't place into a box. And then you have A-R-E-R-O-R. This is where you form agent nouns. Again, see how it all connects from what we did previously. We still said that you form an agent noun by adding on the suffix like hairdresser, doctor, ambassador. Okay, so those are just basic parts of speech that a suffix can form. There are exceptions to the rule. Again, I would like you to press pause once I'm finished, and then have a look and see if you can identify exactly what the meaning of these suffixes are, because that will also help you with knowing where to attach it. All right, so press pause, jot down your answers, and we'll go through them again. Okay, so let's have a look. We've already looked at how the suffix age can form nouns. And here we see that the meaning of it is a result. So, independence, it's an action or a state. So, a state of independence means you're able to look after yourself. So, here we have ANT and EE, both referring to a person. So, a dependent, an employee. ENCE is exactly the same there. It's an action or a state. Right, we still said there previously ER and OR. That's what we use to form agent nouns, which means people. So hair, dress becomes hairdresser. Okay, so ERY is usually what you take on for a place of work or a type of work. ESS is normally to make it a feminine form. FUL, normally to fill or say how much there is. Don't try and think literally, like if I had to say this is so stressful, I'm not literally pouring water or filling it in a cup, but I'm saying that there's just so much stress going on right now. ING is the same here as AGE, where it gives you that action or a result. ION is a process. So if I have to talk about justification, it's a process that you're going through to justify something. ISM is normally a belief or a condition. Hypothyroidism normally is when your thyroid is overworking. IST also forms a person. So if I play the piano, I'm a pianist. Mint, M-E-N-T, it goes the same there actually with ents and ants being an action or a state. Able means the ability to do something, so you are capable. You are culpable. N is made of. So enjoy, we're adding on to the N now. See, it's easy to get them stuck sometimes. So EN means it's made of that. EN you'll actually see quite a lot. However, a lot of people, like I just did for a second, can confuse it with a prefix, so be careful of that one. FUL, okay, that's a repeat. IBLE, again, means your ability to do it. And then ISH, means a little. Alright, so normally we actually use that quite a lot in slang. Okay, let's look at some examples. So have a look at the meaning while I go through the example, because it will also really help you with knowing what that word means. So a wreckage, it's a result of a crash or an explosion. Importance, that's an action or a state of importance. An assistant is a person. A referee is a person. Difference is an action or a state. So the difference between something is the state between them. Okay, then adding on for our agent nouns, we've got there a teacher. Then we've got a bakery, ERYs. It says they're a type of career or a workplace. Waitress, that's when you're making it a feminine form. You'll see that it's become very much, it's more precedented rather to just actually take on a non-gender form, because then you're not insulting anyone. So don't assume there's a chairman or a chairwoman, chairperson. Okay, it just helps with not making that mistake. Spoonful, so how much. A painting, action or result. Again, a process, decoration. A belief or a condition. So Judaism is if you follow the Jewish religion, Jewish belief. A florist is a person who works with flowers. Measurement would be an action or even a state to take that measurement. Able to be, inflatable is able to float. So everything with able will have this ability to do something. Woolen, so what is it made of? Wool. Even wooden, what is it made of? Wood. Beautiful, so full of beauty. Flexible, you have the ability again to be flexible. That can also be literal or figurative. And then you've got greenish. So it's a little bit green, greenish. Like I said, a lot of people use that in slang. Okay, so I'm going to end with a video today that incorporates suffixes. Mind, it has two suffixes, full and ness. So full means that we're full of thinking in our mind, and then ness gives it the noun form. So I just want you guys to watch this. It's not specifically about prefixes and suffixes at all, but it's using an example, and I think this is quite relatable, just as a way of living to get the best out of life.
Everyday mindfulness. What is mindfulness? Often when people think about mindfulness, they imagine someone sitting on a cushion alone in a room with their eyes closed. Sometimes that is what mindfulness practice looks like. And sitting with your eyes closed in this way has great benefits. But mindfulness is also so much more. Mindfulness is a way to approach everyday life that makes living more enjoyable and less stressful. You can apply mindfulness to everything you do, whether you are eating, walking, or sitting in class. Mindfulness is a choice that you can make at any moment. Mindfulness can help you better understand how you feel and what you are experiencing. It's about being aware of the present moment instead of replaying the past or worrying about the future. Mindful awareness means being aware with kindness. It's about being engaged in everyday life, choosing to be nice to yourself and others in the present moment, and bringing an open awareness to all moments, whether those moments are pleasant, neutral, or maybe even unpleasant. Bringing to that awareness some curiosity and kindness instead of judgment and criticism. You may be surprised at what you learn if you are curious and kind. This does not mean that you need to be meditating. You just need to be paying attention on purpose with a little friendliness. This can help you with stress or anxiety or even sadness. It helps you focus on what is happening right now, because worrying about the future or the past all the time can be exhausting. Practicing paying attention in a kind way to little things can help train your mind so you can develop more ease across your life. Anything can be leveled up with mindfulness.
Right, guys, so mindfulness, as that short little video still gave us there, just taking the time to really appreciate your surroundings and live in the moment that you're given. Here's a final cartoon to show us a little bit more about prefixes. The word do sees re and un. Here they come again. These guys always try to start something. So to redo it, to do it again. To undo, to take it away. Okay, so a little bit of prefix humor to finish off our lesson. Thanks for watching, grade 9s. This lesson was brought to you by WorksheetCloud. I hope that you were able to learn about prefixes and suffixes and how to use them in your tests and exams. But not only that, how to use them in everyday life. Bye, guys.